Hi guys, I hope that you are doing well. I came on here today to talk about this beautiful new moon that's happening on the 2nd of March in the sign of Pisces. And before filming this video, I almost felt like it was inappropriate in some way to be talking about such a nice, positive, beautiful astrological event when the reality reflects something totally different in the world right now. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know where I'm from. And also, a lot of people don't know, but I do have a very strong background, very strong roots in the country that is on the receiving end currently. And I also started my own family. I have my own family now in the third country where I'm filming this from. And I'm not trying to bring any kind of attention to this video, any negative attention, right? I'm not trying to discuss it in the comments. I'm not trying to take it somewhere where it shouldn't be, right? Unless it's astrological, because this is going to be an astrological forecast with tarot in the mix. But my heart is absolutely breaking for everything that is currently happening. And I feel like now that I became a mom, I feel so different about the world. I feel so different about everybody, every soul, and it's so heartbreaking. It's so painful. I almost feel that pain in some way. And you know, I used to think that I was an empath in the past, and I think it's such bullshit because I think I am one now. Like, the way I feel currently about the world, or maybe it's just postpartum stuff, I don't know, but the way I feel about the world is so different, and I almost pass all the pain through me. And of course it sounds very dramatic, but at the same time I just really hope that these two countries find some kind of peaceful resolution, that they finally come to some kind of peace. We're all tired of it. We're all tired, and we all just want peace. So yeah, that's what I had to say, because I feel like I'm about to glamorize this new moon that's happening on the 2nd of March, and it is beautiful. Will it be beautiful? Will it be peaceful? Will it be great? How the sky is telling us on the mundane level, right? I'll be honest, probably not. But it can be great personally for each person. And it can help, and it can start this amazing new beginning for each person, right? So I do believe that it deserves to be talked about. And maybe I'll be coming on here every month, guys, to do new moon and full moon videos. I don't know yet. This is the second time I'm recording this because simply mom life, you know, I don't have the opportunity to do this anymore. And, you know, we will do tarot as well, but I do want to focus on astrology because, like I've said before, you know, this is where I'm headed and I do not even want to look back. So this reading is going to be for each ascendant, okay? And of course, if you don't know your ascendant, you can watch this for your sun sign. And I feel like especially the tarot part is going to resonate more with sun signs. But what can I say about this new moon? Well, first of all, it's 2 degrees away from Jupiter, right? So it's basically conjunct Jupiter, and that's an amazing, amazing thing. It does indicate that something here is about to get easier for us. A certain area of life where this new moon is happening is about to get easy or easier for us. On the other hand, we do have 2 conjunctions this day, the day of the new moon, and I would say that this is such a interesting, such a unique day if you again look at the chart of the new moon. First of all, we have a conjunction of Saturn and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius. Typically, Mercury and Saturn conjunction would talk about something straightforward coming your way, some kind of information, some kind of news, right? And a lot of times it is news from government, news from authorities, news from parents, bosses, whoever you look up to, or whoever you consider an authority in your life, and maybe you're even a little intimidated by them. That is your authority, and yes, it can indicate some kind of information coming through. But since these 2 planets are in the sign of Aquarius, they both like being in Aquarius. Saturn rules Aquarius. Mercury loves being in Aquarius. And Saturn is friends with Mercury. Mercury is neutral with Saturn, but Saturn is friends with Mercury, meaning that I do believe that this day could bring us some maybe official but positive news, or at least maybe objective, maybe straightforward, maybe direct, maybe honest, but it is something that in some way is going to benefit us. Now, another conjunction that's going to be happening this day is Pluto, Mars, and Venus conjunction in Capricorn, and I feel like this one is actually about gaining your power back, gaining your control back, and especially in Capricorn. You know, Capricorn is authority, Capricorn is control, Capricorn is power in some way, right, along with Pluto being in Capricorn. So we may start feeling after the 2nd of March that we are gaining our control back over a certain situation that Capricorn rules maybe in our chart. Maybe we feel like, okay, so I can actually take this in my hands now, I can actually do something about this. And I find that it's going to be a really nice event. Now, the last thing I would like to talk about is, of course, the fact that this new moon is going to sextile Uranus in Taurus. And that makes Uranus come up in a very different way for us. First of all, when we receive any kind of information, any kind of news that is coming to us through the prism of Uranus, that is usually the information that makes our palms sweat. It makes us feel anxious. We can shake. We're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this information right now. It's shock, right? It's something that we did not expect. That is the energy of Uranus. However, with the sextile from the new moon, this Uranus energy is going to be different from its normal traditional, right? It's going to be very subtle. It's going to be very unique, very progressive, but it's not going to be in your face. It is going to be there to remind you that, hey, I'm here and I'm bringing you an opportunity. It is an innovative opportunity. It's very new. It's very exciting. It's very progressive, but you don't have to take this opportunity. You think about it, but I'll be here next to you. This is how Uranus energy is going to feel around this new moon. And yes, we will be having some innovative ideas, some progressive ideas, some interesting opportunities coming our way, but we don't have to take them. That is the energy of sextile. It's very soft, it's very subtle, it's not in our face, it's not forcing us into a change. The changes may occur too without, let's say, our control, but they're going to be very soft and smooth and subtle. And again, if you do want to use the energy of Uranus, it almost will feel like you can change something, but Uranus is allowing you to take control over the situation, which is another kind of easy flowing energy here. And I think that we all can really benefit from Pisces energy, because Pisces rules healing, Pisces rules peace. And like I said, you know, I don't want to even talk about how this could play out on a mundane, worldly level, right? But on the personal level, each one of us will get a chance to heal a certain area of life, a certain wound, and start a new journey for the next 6 months. Some of you maybe for the next 2 weeks. But I would say, if we were to talk about signs briefly before we move on to the actual horoscope, I would say that Pisces, water signs, Cancer and Scorpio, and Virgo, these signs can probably expect something new, like the new moon energy coming in basically right away, you know, maybe 3 days after the new moon, maybe 3 days before the new moon, maybe it's going to be sometime in the next 2 weeks after the new moon. Mutable signs, which would be Gemini and Sagittarius, right, besides Pisces and Virgo, those signs may also experience changes pretty fast, but they're going to be very significant for them. They may require sorting a conflict, right, but they will sort out that conflict. And usually, like I said, for other mutable signs, that is a significant change, that is a significant new idea, new project, whatever they might be doing. So, you know, they can also see some big results and fast results, I believe. And the rest of the signs, most likely this is a change that's going to be developing slowly but surely over the course of the next 6 months. And once it does finish around the full moon in Pisces, that's when you're going to see how much you've gained, how much you have achieved, and how much you have healed possibly as well. But let's move on to the signs, and we're going to start with Aries. Aries, this new moon is happening in your 12th house, and it is sextiling Uranus in your 2nd house. So you will be one of those signs where this new moon is manifesting its full potential in your life, possibly, you know, within the next 6 months. And having new moon in the house of endings, that is interesting because I feel like maybe something could even come to its final stage around this new moon, even though we usually tend to have new beginnings around new moons, right? But in the house of completion, in the house of endings, you could maybe experience that final step, that necessary step to achieve something that you really needed to achieve for a while. There could be a project that comes up behind the scenes, and that project could be related to your financial standing. This project can be worked on for a while, again, behind the scenes in secret somehow. And Uranus in the 2nd almost is like, you should keep working on this. This can be profitable. You know, this will bring you money in the end. This will boost your financial situation, your financial standing. And it's almost like you don't have to work on this, but I think you will choose to. Because it will bring you either a new source of income, or it will bring you a new financial opportunity or a new client. Because also, you know, when you work with clients and when you have their information and it's hidden from everybody, right? It's just between you and your client. Like, for example, I don't know, you might be an accountant and you obviously keep all of those numbers of your clients in secret, right? Or maybe you are a spiritual worker of some kind. Maybe you are a reader, an astrologer. You obviously are going to keep those personal details between you and the client. Whatever the occupation may be, there seems to be either some kind of a client that you're going to have, and you will be working with them for some time, for a few months possibly, and you will realize, or you will know, that working with them is very beneficial for your wallet somehow. Maybe, you know, it is something that brings you financial boost. That you will realize that this client is actually profitable for you. Or maybe, you know, this is about building up to some kind of a financial deal that may come to its peak in 6 months or so from now. But it is definitely something out of the ordinary. It's either a new person that you're working with, or maybe it is a new kind of income, like a new source of income that you've never done before, you've never been involved in before. You know, maybe it is what could it be? Something innovative, right? Something unique, something that is kind of out of your character, but that is also at the same time very exciting, and it motivates you to move forward. So let's see what tarot is going to say regarding this. So what can Aries expect to happen around this new moon? What can Aries expect to happen around this new moon? So we have Two of Pentacles, King of Swords, and Seven of Wands here. It is about determination. It almost seems like someone may try and kind of distract you from the goal, from a very specific goal. And this may not relate necessarily to our astrology reading, right? But there could be someone that may try and distract you from a goal. And the goal here is to keep yourself on track. It is about making sure that no matter what is happening, no matter what the distractions are, you're able to move forward, you're able to stick to the path that you chose. And you might get busy around this new moon. There may be some projects here to take care of. There may be some projects that you have to juggle. There may be also a moment where you may have to defend yourself in some way. You may have to possibly show either your friends, your community, your audience that you are right, or that you have the opinion that deserves attention. Or maybe you're going to have to prove yourself to some kind of an authority here, right? But I think you should succeed just fine. And as long as you stay on track, as long as you don't get distracted, you should be on the way to success. Thank you so much for watching, Aries, and we're moving on to Taurus. Hi, Taurus. So the new moon is happening in your 11th house, and it is sextiling Uranus in your first house. You may see this community in front of you. It's a community of like-minded people. Obviously, it's a community that you're very attracted to. It is a community that you think you belong to. Not that you think, but you actually belong to this community. It is the community that makes you feel great, and they're accepting of your new ideas, of your progressive thinking, right? Because Uranus is in your first house. All the innovation, all the innovative ideas, all the progressive ideas are coming from you. And you find that group, you find that community that accepts you, that accepts your ideas, that accepts your outlook, and you want to be involved, right? You want to move forward with them, you want to continue. And new moon is making a sextile to your sign anyway, and there is also this conjunction of Mercury and Saturn in your 10th house. And the reason why I'm bringing it up in your reading is because, well, I would say that realistically, you know, this is a very important aspect for you, because Aquarius is an important sign. It's a fellow fixed sign, and it makes a square to you. What does that mean? That means that every time there is energy in Aquarius, you have to get up. You have to get up and do something. You are required to take action. And it being in your 10th house, you know, you could receive some really interesting news from government, from authorities, from bosses, from higher ups around this time, around the time of the new moon. And while Aquarius may be a very significant sign for you, like it may hold a very significant type of message for you, right? At the same time, I think this new moon does have a potential to bring some sort of relief for you, some sort of healing through a community of like-minded people, or even maybe it's one friend, you know, maybe it's just one person here. And also you using your, again, almost like a changed perspective on life, a different outlook on life, on work, on friendships, on goals, whatever that might be. You are using it to your advantage to build something, so that 11th house, your results, your gains are looking good for your future. They're looking prosperous. It's like you're building something, and you use all the uniqueness that you have to build a nice future for yourself, to have something secure, something stable in the future. And while Uranus is not the most stable, right, it can very softly help you here to use your uniqueness to manifest something in your future, manifest something in your life. And I find that to be very exciting. So Taurus, what can Taurus expect to happen around this new moon in Pisces? Yeah, some information is coming your way. Again, it could be from authorities. Letter L as Linda could be pretty important here, and that information has been hidden from you for a while. Now it's coming up to the surface. With Page of Wands, there is almost like this correspondence, the energy of correspondence. And with the moon, you know, something that was hidden from you before will come to light, even though it's a new moon and it is going to be pretty dark in the sky, you know, on the day of the new moon. However, you will be able to experience some kind of clarity almost on that day, you know, and it is going to be possibly about something legal, or maybe about your status, or maybe about your career, right? There is something here that's going to even out the scale for you. And again, Uranus supporting you fully on this new moon is giving you the advantage of being more progressive, quick, witty. Whatever you need to do, you got it, okay? There is that support from the divine, and there is that support from Uranus and Jupiter to move forward. So good luck, Taurus, and we're moving on to Gemini. Hi, Gemini. So this new moon is going to happen in your 10th house, and 10th house is significant for you. It makes a square to you, but squares, there's no need to fear them. They're just a call for action. And for Gemini, I believe that some events can happen quickly here, and they're going to develop very quickly, probably as soon as that new moon occurs, especially for Gemini rising. So it seems like you are going to get a green light from authorities, green light from government, green light from parents, maybe green light from bosses, to be able to achieve some sort of goal, or to make next steps that benefit your status, that benefit maybe your career, that help you climb up the ladder. And there seems to be almost like this energy of support from authorities around that time anyway, because Mercury and Saturn are conjunct in the sign that makes a trine to you. And not only that, Saturn and Mercury like to be in the sign of Aquarius together, they also like you. So I feel like maybe the information or the green light, right, that comes from authorities around this time is going to be very beneficial for you in your future. Another thing here with Uranus in the 12th is that you will be receiving downloads of different information, and those downloads are going to be psychic, right? They're going to come to you in your dreams. They're gonna come to you just while you're meditating, or just sitting there, you know, or like driving your car and kind of zoning out. You might be seeing a lot of signs around that date, okay, 2nd of March. You might be just more spiritually aware, and those psychic messages that you're going to be receiving are very, again, helpful for you, for your future. But you need to pay attention to them, because Uranus here is very subtle. Its messages are very soft and subtle. You need to be paying attention to them. But once you start paying attention to those signs, to those messages that the Uranus is sending out to you, or I should say the divine is sending out to you, you'll know how to act. You'll know what your next step is. In your career, maybe 10th house, right? Or just generally in your future. If you've been preparing some legal documents, or maybe, you know, something that can change your social status, or just your immigration status, or your status at work. This can also be a good time, because with Uranus in the 12th, if let's say you are preparing some kind of documents behind the scenes, this can play out as a very big step in your legal case, a very big step in your status, a very big event when it comes to you climbing that ladder, okay? So I would say that you have the support from the divine, you have the support from Uranus, and you have the support of authorities to move forward here. So please do what you think is necessary. Be brave, okay, moving forward, and please pay attention to the psychic messages that may be coming through around this time. Now let's see, so what can Gemini expect to happen around this new moon in Pisces? So I don't know who this Queen of Cups is, but we have 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and Judgment. So Queen of Cups can be your emotional security that has been very changeable, and it seems like you are very emotionally connected to becoming independent from someone here. Maybe from your job, maybe from your parents, maybe from another person here, or maybe from some kind of structure, right? You are emotionally connected to gaining more support from the divine, or gaining more independence, more control, becoming more self-sufficient. And there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think we all should be emotionally connected to that, you know. But I feel like your connection here, your listening to your intuition, trying to work on the things that make you feel better about yourself, are going to lead to this change, to this before and after. You may, again, with the whole situation happening in with the Saturn and Mercury, right, making a trine to you, you could receive some kind of a document, right? You could receive some kind of status change, support. And I think that as long as you are on the right track, or I should say, as long as you keep yourself on that track and you don't distract yourself, you should be doing very well in March. And with the Judgment also, you know, it is about being judged by others, showing them the best of yourself. And new moon allows you, kind of pushes you in that direction, you know. Show yourself, shine, show your best self to the world, right? Because 10th house is the top of the chart. But also do not forget that the divine is with you, they're watching you, they are going to be guiding you. You just have to listen, or I don't want to say have to. You will be offered that help. Whether you take it or not, it's up to you. Because Uranus is going to be very gentle in the beginning of the month. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. And now we're going to move on to Cancer. Hi Cancer. So new moon is happening in your 9th house, and it is making a sextile to Uranus in your 11th house. So possibly through a group of people, a friend, social media group, forum, whatever that might be, social media generally, right? You may be offered some kind of a great opportunity, either to broaden your horizons literally, like there will be an opportunity to travel through social media or through groups or through a friend, through some kind of a community, right, that we belong to. Or it's going to be a metaphorical horizon that's going to be opening for you, meaning it is some kind of a major new opportunity. And new moon is making a trine to you because you're another water sign, so that is double beneficial for you. And I feel like, truthfully, here you may be very motivated to study a certain spiritual practice that can benefit you in the future. And you know, 9th house is like important for us to have that belief system, that that faith, that belief that guides us every day, that helps us, something that we kind of live for, or something that we know is always going to have our back. And here, you know, with the new moon, there could be a practice like that that appears in your life. And it has happened to me, you know, recently, not so recently, but I can say I have changed my religion, and I could not be happier with what I have right now. And I'm totally understanding this 9th house now. And this is about choosing that belief. This is about choosing that system that guides you, that helps you, that you believe in, and that truly is a part of you. You're a part of it, and it is a part of you. And this new moon is very gently not pushing you, but it's offering you this whole picture, you know. And it's like, look, this could be great for you. Why won't you study it? Why won't you research it? Why won't you see if it's good for you or helpful for you, right? And again, you could even find a community of people that are also into the same thing. I hope you don't think I'm talking about like cults. No, I'm not talking about cults or sects. I'm talking about belief systems, right? Whether it's religion or spirituality or whatever that might be. But it can be so helpful and so therapeutic for you. So that could be a great time to start exploring, and exploring not by yourself, but in a group. Another thing that this new moon can bring is going back to school or gaining some sort of a diploma or certificate. And again, you know, it could be something very beneficial for your future gains, 11th house. And also, this could indicate actual travel, legal documents. If you have a legal case pending, this could be a message that comes through around this day, right? Around this date, about your legal case. There may be a new step in your legal case. There may be a new message, a new paper, something, right? It could be even that if you're expecting a document, if you're expecting them to give you something, they could give you something around this time as well, because also 9th house is just a very optimistic, happy house. And I feel like with this new moon conjuncting Jupiter, whatever you receive should give you happiness, should give you at least some kind of joy and optimism and belief in the future. Now, let's move on to tarot and let's see what you can expect with this new moon. So, what can Cancer expect to happen with this new moon in Pisces? Well, like I said, not only that this new beginning is bringing you new horizons, like on the physical level, like maybe new places to travel to, an approval of your visa, right, something, but it can also bring you spiritual new beginning. You could explore not only physically, like traveling, right, because Knight of Wands is a traveler, but you could explore all these different belief systems. You could get interested in something and it would make you feel so passionate, it would make you feel so excited. And this is about not only an emotional new beginning for you, excitement, right, but also about some sort of physical new beginning, tangible new beginning. And I could say, you know, that for a lot of you here, if you were unable to travel before, Ace of Pentacles indicating a document and Knight of Wands indicating travel could very well mean that that's what you're going to do after this new moon. So that is very beautiful, very exciting, and I wish you guys luck. And now we're going to move on to Leo. Hi Leo. So new moon is going to be happening in your 8th house, and it's going to make a sextile to Uranus in your 10th house. Here it almost seems like a financial deal, some kind of a financial situation is coming to fruition, and it could just mean that there is a next step, there is a new step, there is a new document, there is I want to say next step in some kind of a major financial deal for you. Or maybe there is something here again connected to finances that can change your status, can change even how you make money, what you do to make money, what your profession is. And there seems to be something that almost comes with a crisis in a way, because, you know, 8th house is about crisis. It is about major, sharp, fast changes, unexpected changes. And Uranus being in your 10th house for a while, that means that work has not been stable. And me in the Placidus having Uranus in the 10th house natally, you probably can imagine that I struggled with jobs when I had to work for someone else, right? Until I created my own business. Even when I created my own online business, it was always so that's just Uranus, you know? And yes, it could be that work has not quite been stable, but this time around this new moon on the 2nd of March, Uranus is a kind, loving, gentle planet that tells you, hey, there is this new financial thing that I'm bringing you, this new financial opportunity. Why don't you take it? It's going to increase your income. It's going to improve your status. It's going to improve your I don't know, productivity at work, you know, whatever that may be in the 10th house. So you could really consider it, or you don't have to, because sextile is very gentle. It's not pushing us, it's not forcing us. We can take control with the sextile. We may or may not use it. So there is that opportunity coming, okay? Very innovative, very progressive, something that maybe you aren't quite sure about yet, or something that you've never done before. But it does bring a substantial amount of money. It does help somehow. Now, there could be also an opportunity to close the crisis in some way, kind of finish the crisis. And again, you know, it could be maybe very unexpected help from an authority, from one of the parents, from bosses, from government, I don't know, but there could be very unexpected, but at the same time very soft help coming from one of those people that you look up to solve some kind of a crisis of yours. Also, you could be getting your tax return around that time. That is probably the most realistic, right? But I would say that it could also be that. It could be maybe unexpected amount that you receive on your tax return from the government, 10th house, right? Or it could just be a loan that you're going to receive that you didn't expect to receive. But it's up to you, you know, whether or not you want to actually take it. Now, let's move on to tarot and see what Leo can expect. So what can Leo expect to happen around this new moon? So, there is something that you are committed to, and you are committed to it emotionally. It could be a romantic relationship, it can be a job, right? It can just be someone's... you feel like someone is kind of above you and you have to play by their rules, you have to listen to them, you have to kind of comply with them, is that the word? Yeah, but you know, with the Hierophant, I'm sorry, but with Five of Swords, I feel like there is conflict here that is regarding this commitment. There is something that you are emotionally attached to, and yet you need a change in that department. You need a shift. You need something else. You need something different. You need something new to be able to break down this commitment and build something maybe more substantial on it. You know, sometimes there are things that simply need to change. There are things that simply need to break down or to get shaken up in some way, to be able to bring something new, something better into the picture. So there is something that you're very much used to, and this new moon will seemingly bring a little bit of uncomfortable energy to deal with, so that you can kind of choose for yourself how you want to be committed to and what you want to be committed to in this way. There seems to be also this lady here, right? Queen of Cups. If there is a lady like that in your life that either you are committed to, or this is someone that is searching commitment with you, you know, try and be careful with how things go around this new moon, because there seems to be the energy of conflict, but at the same time solving the conflict. There seems to be almost like a need for something to be slightly shaken up so that you can move forward and restructure it a little bit better. And Uranus in the 10th house can do that. And new moon being in the house of crisis, conflict, and the change, right? It can provoke something like this. It's almost like a commitment that you've had for a while, something that you're super used to, just needs a little bit of spice, just needs a little bit of a boost. And it doesn't have to be a romantic commitment, like I said, it can be anything. But if you shake it up a little bit, or if you just allow the divine to shake it up a little bit and move forward with it, I think that you are going to achieve an interesting result, exactly a Uranus style. Let's just put it that way. But it should be good. It should be good. These are the first steps to solving a certain crisis in your life. But I hope that you found this helpful, and I'm going to move on to Virgo. Hi Virgo. So this new moon is happening in your 7th house, and it is making a beautiful aspect to Uranus in your 9th house. Well, first of all, you know, when we have lunations happen on the axis of the 1st and 7th houses, that means that it's literally anything can happen in the life of a person. I'll give you an example. I'm a Pisces rising, my partner is Virgo rising. So we are the opposite of each other. So every time something happens, it mirrors both of us, you know, it mirrors our charts. And around a new moon in Pisces and full moon in Virgo, and I think it was also at some point a new moon in Virgo and full moon in Pisces. Anyway, the details aren't important. What's important is that we would always experience very significant events, and they would be in different areas of our lives, even though we had 1st and 7th house as you know, prominent axis. We had a child, we bought a house, what else? I received some very important document around a new moon in the 7th house. So it can be anything, literally anything. Yes, it can of course touch your romantic relationship, so there can be some new developments there. And with Uranus in the 9th, it's almost like a little celebratory, you know, it's something that gives you joy, optimism, and you're starting to see a bigger picture with this relationship. It's a new step that opens up a new horizon for you, but where you're not alone, you are with someone else, right? And you see the broader picture together, you and that other person. Now, if it's not about romantic relationships, this can bring some deals, right? Some negotiations, some contracts, some, I would say, financial dealings, right? Some legal documents. It can be receiving a document, or it can be applying for a document, right? It can be buying a home, selling a home. It really can be anything here, but whatever here is happening, it is sextiling Uranus in your 9th. So everything that you're doing around, everything that you're doing around this new moon is bringing you more optimism. It's bringing you like a broader picture of your future. It's almost like this vision board in some way that you have in front of you, and you know what is going, kind of, you know, whatever this may be around the new moon, you know exactly where it's going on your vision board, you know exactly how you see it in your future, and it's positive. And also Uranus trines you. So it's not really a shocking and unpleasant change anyway. It is something very subtle, very soft. It gives you an opportunity for the future. You know, it gives you optimism, and it's almost like something that is a little out of the ordinary for you, something that you've never done before, and yet here you are doing it around this new moon, and it can bring results pretty fast for you. Now, if you've been wanting to travel abroad, legal documents I already covered, but if you've been wanting to travel abroad, this can be it, right? This can be you starting that trip, you preparing for that trip, you taking that trip as well. And yeah, I feel like, again, it could be maybe the next step in your legal case, it could be the next step in your relationships, it can be the next step in anything that you find important right now. Because for you guys, unlike most of the signs, this lunation is very important, so take it serious and also be optimistic about it, because I think it's gonna bring you some great results. And now we're going to see what you can expect to happen with tarot. What can Virgo expect to happen around this new moon in Pisces? lots and lots of correspondence here regarding something tangible, something physical, something that you either had to invest your money into, or something that you had to buy, or something that you had to sell. But it's pleasant because with Page of Cups, you know, there is also excitement around this. There is like a wave of positive emotion. And if you were dealing with inheritance, if you were dealing with some kind of maybe family money, this could be a really good message that comes through. Anything actually that has to do with your finances, it could be really good news that comes to you around this time. It could also maybe be a request of some kind, like you, for example, wanting to go back to school, you wanting to find out about some kind of education here, right? Because we have 2 pages here. Pages are students. And again, you could receive like a student loan here. You could receive like a scholarship here. It's looking very good for you. It's looking like you could really make some dreams happen where it requires either documents or correspondence or certificates, right? And also money. Really good for money. So good luck, guys. And like I said, it's a very important new moon for you, whether you are a sun in Virgo or moon in Virgo or ascendant in Virgo. But for ascendants in Virgo, this is going to play out probably the fastest and the most significant. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in my next video. Now we're moving on to Libra. Hi, Libra. So your new moon is going to happen in the 6th house, and it's going to sextile Uranus in your 8th house. Uranus is currently in the house of crisis for you, and when very quick, unexpected changes happen in the 8th house, which they naturally do, Uranus makes them even crazier, even faster, even more unexpected. But here, Uranus is very nice to you. It's very positive. It's very soft. And I feel like it could indicate an exit out of some kind of a critical situation, conflicting situation, critical situation, crisis situation, whatever you want to call it, right? There seems to be almost like a result, even though it's a new moon, but you may see a result coming from some kind of a hard work, hard effort that you put into a work project. 6th house is work, right? Some kind of annoying work duties that we have to periodically do, and Uranus in the 8th, you know, that brings you the money. That also brings you an opportunity to make more money through other people, through other people's resources. But it's almost like, well, you're either finishing that right now or you're starting that. And Uranus very softly, very moderately is hinting at the fact that, hey, you can do this. Yes, I know it will require some of your effort again, but you could really benefit. You know, you could really benefit from other people's resources. So why won't you consider it? You know, you could get that idea in a very subtle way. But I feel like these are also the steps to get out of some kind of crisis, to be able to build almost like a healthier routine for yourself, and not just in a physical way, but in a mental way. It's like you need to clear out your path so you can breathe, so you don't have to deal with this constant crisis. Also, 6th house rules annoying people, and this could actually be almost like victory against this annoying person. It could be a colleague, it could be someone that you have to kind of face every day, you know, and it could be that you may overcome a certain issue with this person around this new moon, because let's not forget, Pisces is healing. It's a healing sign, it's a healing energy along with Jupiter there. And it seems like you may heal either your mind, your routine in some way, your physical body maybe, your crisis, or your relationships with other people. Not romantic, I don't think it's romantic though, around this new moon. And of course, you know, talking about physical issues, talking about health, that's also a really good new moon to start taking care of your health. For example, when I had a similar situation, I started doing yoga because I had a physical injury and I needed yoga. I didn't care about the spiritual benefits. I just needed it to fix my problem. But once I got into it, I realized that, hey, I'm getting enlightened and I'm not quite there just for the physical benefit. You know what I mean? It got me hooked. From a different perspective though, from a spiritual perspective. This is how it can be here. You know, you can get hooked on something that is physical but at the same time spiritual, and it can help you. It can help heal your physical body, but also your mental, your emotional, your spiritual health. It can be very beneficial for you, especially when Pisces is at play. Pisces wants you to heal. Pisces wants to bring that nurturing, soft, healing energy into your life, into your body, into your soul. So please go for it. And also, I did want to mention that Mercury and Saturn, they are in a beneficial sign for them together, and they also like you. They make a trine to you from your 5th house, which is house of joy, house of hobbies. So maybe with this adjusted routine in some way, maybe with this positive outcome of some kind of a crisis or negative situation, you may start enjoying yourself more. You know, you may actually find a new hobby, I don't know, or maybe realize that, hey, not everything is that crappy, you know, and I can actually go and I don't know, play sports on weekends or go watch a movie, and you know, I don't have to struggle in a way, you know. It's like opening a little bit of a more fun time for you, even though you have Saturn there. But I think that it is the time to take care of yourself, you know, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Pisces and Uranus will encourage you to do that. But what can Libra expect to happen around this new moon? I got your energy. I got a lot of your energy here. Queen of Swords, Justice, and the Star. Well, first of all, if we just don't talk about the fact that you being a Libra, you kind of rule justice, and also because you're an air sign, you are a Queen of Swords. How about we talk about the fact that you are putting everything on the shelves, on the right shelves. You are manifesting the reality that you want. You are finally coming out of some kind of a rut, if that's the word, right? You are coming clean. You are balancing your life out actively. And, you know, I feel like it's also cutting out the BS, making sure that everything is equal, making sure that everything is balanced. And again, you know, if some annoying people do come up in the 6th house, you're willing to cut them out easily. But it's also getting you closer to some kind of a wish of yours, closer and closer and closer. And maybe it will take time to put everything on the right shelves, right, to balance everything out, but you will get to your goal, and it's closer and closer and closer. And you may be one of those signs that it will take 6 months to get to the full result of this new moon, right? Until it's full moon in Pisces. But it will be so worth it, guys. So take that energy, take that healing energy of Pisces and charge forward. And now we're moving on to Scorpio. Hi Scorpio, so your new moon is going to happen in the 5th house and it's going to make a sextile to Uranus in the 7th house. So this could be a very interesting acquaintance that may arrive around this date, and it doesn't have to be quite romantic, okay? It could be an acquaintance that may benefit you somehow if you are trying to do your own business. If you're trying to turn a hobby into a source of income, right? If you are trying to start building some kind of an online business, if you're trying to get maybe more well known in a creative field, in art, whatever that may be, right? You could meet someone very interesting around this date, and I encourage you to be open because Uranus energy is going to be very subtle here, very soft, almost unnoticed in some way. It's going to be next to you. You can notice it, right? And you can accept it or you don't have to. So this acquaintance will not be right in your face. It will be somewhere around you, but it's your choice whether or not you want to bother with them, okay? And that bother is probably completely wrong word here, but what I'm trying to say is that you most likely are going to meet someone very interesting, very eccentric, very different from your usual circle. And you will notice them, but whether or not you want to start engaging with them, that is going to be up to you. And you know, typically with Uranus transiting your 7th house, especially if you're Scorpio rising, you could usually expect some kind of crazy people in your life. You know, they're usually way too eccentric, they're way too out of the ordinary, they're way too weird, or they shock you with their actions, they hurt you with their actions, they do all kinds of unexpected things. They're just not just odd, but they are, you know, I don't want to use any sensitive words here, but you know, you're not used to the nicest energies from Uranus in your 7th house. But this time around, Uranus is soft and nice and supportive, and it wants you to still, you know, it is going to be a person that is unique, but they're unique in a good way. And I'm not saying just in a beneficial way for your 5th house, right, where you can use the help of this person to make progress in your career, your business, or your art, right, your creativity. But it's also someone that could just end up being a really good connection, but in a really good friend. And of course, romantically, this can be someone that is different from everybody that you've ever met, and yet it's pleasant, it's nice, it's good kind of weirdness. And when it comes to your children, there could also be some new interesting developments. A child could really heal, maybe start healing around this time. You could see their improvement. You could see that they are doing much better. You can see that they are being more optimistic, maybe, especially like, for example, if your child is in school and maybe having a hard time, right? You could see the improvement here as well. Now, let's see what the cards say. So what can Scorpio expect to happen around this new moon? Joy, laughter, again, acquaintances, friendships. Of course, you can kind of isolate yourself around this new moon, right? And you could still probably meet someone online. But if you, let's say, are around your friends or are around people that are like-minded, again, this Ace of Wands, some kind of excitement, some kind of an exciting situation, a passionate situation, a very creative, almost like energy, you know, this fire comes through these friends, through these communities, through these social groups. And again, this is how you can meet this potential acquaintance. And, you know, with Six of Pentacles also, it seems like something is balancing out in your life slowly but surely. Something is becoming more fair, and you keep witnessing it. You keep noticing how things are just falling into place slowly but surely. And it makes you want to be more optimistic about life. It makes you want to feel more joy and share it with others. You know, there's very like optimistic, happy, upbeat energy around this spread. And also, you know, new moon is making a trine to you. You're just one of those water signs, and regardless, it's going to be very positive to you. You know, Jupiter is making a trine to you. Uranus is making a sextile to you. So I think it's a very nice, joyful, happy new moon for you guys, and you should use it to your advantage for sure. And of course, you know, 5th house is all about joy. It's all about creativity. It's all about all these fun projects and sharing with friends, right? You should go for it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. And now we're moving on to Sagittarius. Hi Sagittarius, you're one of those signs who is going to experience this new moon on a very strong, substantial level. It is happening in your 4th house, and it's sextiling Uranus in your 6th house. So, you know, there seems to be something connected to your home. There seems to be a purchase for your home, or maybe a deal completing or starting around this new moon that comes that is about your home, right? But this could also be just a purchase that is going to be made for your home. Sometimes, you know, for example, if you have a house that you would like to kind of lease as Airbnb or something like that, this can also play out in that way, because it's expanding horizons for you. It's expanding the future of that property almost, you know, this new moon. So you find it to be exciting and almost like innovative in some way, progressive. It's like you could never really think of this before, and now you're doing it. It seems like a crazy idea, but now you're doing it. But at the same time, it's very positively crazy. You know, it's unique. It's out of the ordinary, but it's in a good way, right? This could also manifest as help from your relatives, from your family, from your immediate family, right? Or your help to your relatives. So it could be either or, and everybody seems to be kind of solving a certain conflict here, because, you know, regardless what this new moon can be about, the fourth house creates something important for you, and it can sometimes be achieved through conflict. It can be resolved through conflict. So here you are, possibly solving a major situation within your family, right? Or within your property, something connected to your property, something connected to a past issue, by the way, that can come up, because fourth house rules are past. And it is something that will end up in healing. It will end up in peace. It will end up in that beautiful energy of light and almost like nurturing your soul and nurturing maybe even your relationship with your loved ones. But at first, the conflict may need to be discussed, may need to be overcome, so that you can move forward, so that you can achieve that peace and achieve that that healing, right? Not just you, but also your family. Your Uranus in the 6th does want you to solve different conflicts. It wants you to kind of restructure something so that it can benefit you and somebody else. And again, this energy is very soft, very subtle, so it's not going to be anything crazy, anything shocking. In fact, it is going to be helping you, guiding you within this existing conflict, either about your property, about your past, or about your family. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But let's see what Tarot says. What can Sagittarius expect to happen around this new moon in Pisces? Yeah. It is very powerful here, guys. So Page of Swords, the Sun, and 10 of Swords. It is time to let go, because it cannot get any worse, it seems. There seems to be an issue in your life, in your past, maybe an issue that's dragging from the past, an issue with your parents or within your family, that you feel like there's just no way but up, because you've done everything, you've tried everything, you've fought about everything. And there seems to be that last bit of discussion, last bit of maybe even, yes, in some way argument, because it is a Page of Swords, and to finally come to some kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, guys, this is light at the end of the tunnel. This is showing that something is completing and it's done with, and you no longer have to come back to it. And with Page of Swords also, aside from arguments and stuff like that, it can also talk about paperwork. So again, something here that you are either reestablishing, or maybe you are building a new foundation, right? Or maybe you're working on something in private, but it's got like a light at the end of the tunnel for you. It's got that strong optimism in the future for you, and you seem to be working on it, and you seem to be doing just fine. Do not lose hope, do not lose your optimism. New moon is conjunct your ruler. I think you're going to really look back after this new moon and be like, oh my god, we've made such progress, you know, we've done so many things, we're doing so much better now. I think it's a healing new moon for you. Honestly, it's nurturing, it's kind, it wants you to solve your issues, and I hope you do. And now we're going to move on to Capricorn. Hi Capricorn, so this new moon is going to happen in your 3rd house, and it's going to make a sextile to your 5th house, to Uranus in your 5th house. So, third house is when we basically open the door to the outside and we see what's around our house, our neighborhood, the neighbors, the mailman, I don't know, somebody's garden, a school nearby. This is third house. And, having Uranus in the fifth, it can bring all kinds of weird acquaintances and unstable romantic relationships. But here, around the 2nd of March, Uranus is very kind. Uranus is very nice to you. Uranus is very gentle, and it wants you to pay attention to this particular person that you may meet in your surroundings, somewhere in your neighborhood, or maybe somewhere. Third house can manifest as the gym, for example, or wherever you go to pretty often. If you go there every week, that's your third house. You can meet an acquaintance there that is very creative, that is very unique, very out of the ordinary, but in a good way. And they can really benefit you, right? But at the same time, they could actually end up a really nice romantic partner here, which is interesting because your interests seem to merge. And at the same time, they are in your 5th house by Uranus, meaning that they are unique, but they are almost like this lucky opportunity. Around this person, you may feel like future is changing. You may start feeling joy. You may start feeling optimism about the future. And for those that are currently in relationships, I don't think that it could play out like this. I think the way it can play out is that you may find a new source of study, a new source to start researching, and you're going to get very excited about it. It is something that may bring some kind of a certificate that you can use for either your hobbies or for your business. Because something that this third house gives you in terms of skills, you can use in the 5th house when it comes to your hobbies or your business, or maybe your art, whatever that might be, right? There is a connection here, learning something, gaining new skill, learning new skill, and applying it in the house of shining bright, whatever that may be, your business or your hobbies. And it's like, this new study or this new skill brings you so much excitement, brings you so much optimism, so much joy. It's like, for example, you decide that you want to, I don't know, start reading tarot cards. You go and you take a tarot course so that it benefits you, right? It gives you new skills so you can use it for your, let's say, online tarot business, right? Just an example here that could possibly play out that way. And the fact that you have the conjunction of 3 planets, Pluto, Mars, and Venus, in your 1st house, that talks about you're realizing how much you've done. You're realizing how great you are. You're realizing how nobody has helped you. You've done it all on its own, on your own. I'm sorry. You have done, you have helped yourself. You have created, right, the reality, the future for yourself. It was all you. It was your effort. Everything was in your hands and in your control, and you did it. You achieved something. You're successful. You have succeeded at something. This type of realization you could have around this new moon as well. So I think regardless, it's going to be a very nice event for you. And now let's see with tarot, what can Capricorn expect to happen around this new moon? Yeah, this with 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, and the Fool talks about moving forward in a very direct path, very direct way, and not looking left, not looking right, just going forward. The Fool here tells you that, hey, you've done a lot of work and you have succeeded. You achieved something for yourself that maybe at some point you thought you couldn't. It's time to be a little bit more loose. It's time to be a little bit more risky. Do something fun, do something for yourself. And that's your Uranus in the 5th house that is actually making a trine to you. Do something fun, learn a new skill that is out of the ordinary, something that you definitely didn't go to college for, right? Do it. And it could actually not only bring you some kind of new excitement into your life, right? A new direction with Eight of Wands, but it could also benefit you financially, or make you feel more secure, or make you feel more independent, or make you feel maybe more self-confident. Whatever that might be, guys, you're definitely on the right track, and the cards are confirming that. So whether you are Capricorn Sun or Capricorn Rising, it doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is that you're doing a great job, and you should continue moving forward and staying confident, and take on those new skills. Do something fun for yourself, expand, because that's not just going to be helpful, but it's also going to make you happy. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading, and now we're gonna move on to Aquarius. Hi Aquarius. So this new moon is happening in your 2nd house, and it is making a sextile to Uranus in your 4th house. Well, so there seems to be almost like green light for some kind of a financial new beginning, and you may just now start working on it, but you know that it is exciting. It is something that you may even work privately on for a little while, because 4th house is also pretty private here with Uranus in there. But it may feel like a very good idea. It may feel like something very unique, something that maybe you have never tried before, but at the same time, you are trusting the process, and probably the progress too. But new moon in the 2nd house, a lot of times it is a new source of income. A lot of times it is trying to maybe connect the dots for now and figure out how you're going to build this new source of income. And then I want to say within the next 6 months, that's when it's going to manifest into a full, beautiful picture. There can be financial help possibly also coming from your family, or you may financially help your family. There seems to be a feeling that you're still achieving more, that you're still gaining more, even if, let's say, it's you helping someone, you're not quite giving something away. You're helping, but at the same time gaining something with this new moon as well. Considering this stellium in your 12th house in Capricorn as well, there can be maybe something that you have worked on behind the scenes for a while, and maybe now you're going to start making it your source of income somehow. At first maybe it was just an idea, and now you're like, okay, let's work on this. Or maybe, you know, there is almost like this download of information, intuitive download of information, psychic information that you get through your dreams, or you get through your meditation, or you get just randomly from the 12th house, you know, because it's a house of mysticism and psychic information that we receive. It can help you to build something like physical, you know, financial for yourself. Listen to the messages from the divine, pay attention to the signs, make sure that you are in tune with the higher powers, that you're opening yourself to their guidance. That way you can really receive some help in terms of how to manage this financial situation. And of course, you know, when we have a new moon in the 2nd and we have Uranus in the 4th, when we talk about property, that can be an unexpected opportunity to purchase a property, to sell a property, to purchase something for the property, or to turn your property into a source of income. That's something to keep in mind. So what can Aquarius expect to happen this new moon? Wow. Well, first of all, you came up here, Queen of Swords. It doesn't matter what gender you are watching this. And also we have the Emperor. It's almost it seems like either you are becoming the authority that is able to help your family, that is able to be the provider, that is able to be someone that people can go to for help. Instead of, let's say, you going to your family for help, they can come to you for help now. And there seems to be this feeling of pride and feeling of control over your life, and feeling of, you know, hey, I am something, I can help, and I can provide for myself, and I can be this big help to others and this guidance to others possibly. But at the same time, it can literally mean, aside from our astrological reading, it can mean that you are going to get an approval from an authority. And this authority is going to almost like grant you some kind of a new chapter in your life. It's very big, it's very exciting, it's very significant. It's probably not just your new moon energy though. I believe it's just kind of in the air throughout March. Big new beginnings for you here. You're closing an old chapter. And by the way, Uranus in the fourth house rules our past. Closing the past very softly, very gently with Uranus. Hey, how about we move on from this past situation? How about we no longer deal with it? And you're like, okay, you know, there seems to be a very natural, very organic exit of out of a certain situation, and an authority may help you. A family member, like a father, for example, may help you. Letter T, by the way, Tom, is very significant. Or this can be just a new chapter opening for you, where you understand that you are something, that you are the emperor, that you are the one that people come to. And it's something amazing to think about, you know. It is something that brings you joy, brings you optimism in the future, brings you some kind of faith in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and now we're gonna move on to Pisces. Hi Pisces. So your new moon is in the first house and Uranus is in the third, and they're making a beautiful sextile with the new moon. It's also conjunct your ruler. Oh my gosh. So I've been telling Virgo this because, you know, Virgo and Pisces can experience a lunation like that very similarly, especially if you are Pisces ascendant. So I'm gonna give you an example. I am Pisces rising, my partner is Virgo rising, and every time we have lunations on the axis of first and seventh house, Pisces and Virgo, we experience tremendous, like crazy changes, you know, life changes and so on. So just to give you an example, anything can happen on the axis of first and seventh house, or in your case it's the first. While you may be the trendsetter in a way, you may be the one that's changing something for yourself, the one that's taking action to change something, right? The one that's moving forward, the one that's healing themselves and so on. On the other hand, it can be literally anything, and it can even touch the seventh house because it's opposite. You know, sun and moon are opposite the seventh house, which trigger it too. And for me and my partner, we had a baby on the lunation, during the lunations on this axis. We bought a house. I got very important documents around this lunation, and there can be anything. There can be houses sold, houses bought, children born, pregnancies occurring, right? There can be negotiations, contracts done, documents received, documents applied for, so many things. But of course, the main theme here is you taking the proper action to heal yourself, to make a better life for yourself and maybe for someone else. And how can it manifest? Well, Uranus in the third, you could start teaching, you could start learning a new subject, learning a new skill, and it's something that is in your life in a very subtle way. It's there, and it's like, well, I'm here, this new skill, this new study, this new certificate that you may want to get. You may use me, you may not, but I'll be here. And of course, I recommend using it while Uranus is still nice. And you can use it to your advantage, and you can really manifest some nice things with this energy. It can talk about maybe meeting a certain new acquaintance that can help guide you, that can help heal you in some way. It can be learning a new skill that's very exciting, but also it's very, very useful, very helpful for your own personal development, okay? And obviously this can be simply a very positive event that happens in your life. And again, it can be any area of life, being in the first house, but conjunct Jupiter, sextile Uranus, it is something good that will happen. And if you have not been feeling optimistic until now with the whole Jupiter and Pisces thing, then you will start feeling truly optimistic after this new moon. And if I could guarantee you that, I would. But you know, a lot of Pisces placements may be watching this, Pisces sun or Pisces rising. But regardless, you know, if you've been needing that optimism and everybody's like, Jupiter in Pisces, oh, it's gonna be so great, and you're like, how, when, where, what? You're gonna start feeling its energy after this new moon, going to finally set those beautiful, powerful events in motion. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I almost forgot to do a tarot spread for you. So Pisces, what can Pisces expect to happen around this new moon in their own sign? You're the Magician this time around. You have the opportunity to manifest whatever you desire. Of course, I'm not trying to be like super optimistic here, because, you know, everybody's dealing with their own stuff. But the Magician does talk about having all the tools, having all the opportunities to manifest a nice situation. So go for it, manifest, move forward, shift, heal from the past. Do not drag your past into the future. A new cycle is starting. And yes, it will last 6 months. However, Jupiter and Pisces, you know, it will be kind of in and out of Pisces, but it will be blessing you with its energy. Move forward, only look forward, do not look back. You can look back, obviously, for healing, you know, because you need to be, in order to heal, you need to bring up the past. Otherwise, what are you healing from? But at the same time, you know, use the tools that are provided by Jupiter, by this new moon, by Uranus, to your advantage. Do not waste your resources. Put them in the right direction. Put them in the right place. If you need to heal, do it for yourself. If you need to maybe heal someone else, use those tools for that, right? Do not give them away. Do not give your energy away. Do not give your power away. Really focus on yourself, your future, and your goals, and you will succeed, dear Pisces. But I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.